Hey everyone, how are you all doing? So today I'm going to talk about the Fabelmans. Recently I posted a video on my channel giving my Oscar predictions in the major categories, and I mentioned that the Fabelmans won't win a single Oscar despite being nominated for 7 Oscars including Best Picture, Best Director and Best Screenplay. uh, I don't think it is going to win even one, even though it is directed by Spielberg, who is arguably the greatest filmmaker ever. Yet, for some reason, this movie has lost all its steam, maybe due to the tough competition, maybe due to some of the glaring flaws that I have in this movie, and maybe some of you also had. That is why this movie is not picking up the steam that it should right now, 2 weeks before the Oscars. So first of all, I'm going to start with my quick review, and then I'm going to give you some other reasons, some specific reasons why the Fablemans fell off the rails completely. So let's start with the review. So, surprise, surprise, this movie is actually pretty good. There are a lot of good elements about this movie. The performance all are great. I think Spielberg directed it very well. He has given a very faithful adaptation of his life from which this movie is inspired from, and I think that there are a lot of good elements in this movie, with Paul Dano being actually my favorite part in this movie. Yes, Judd Hirsch has a very good 10 to 15 minute cameo, but I believe that Paul Dano is the one who should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor. The scenes he has with little Spielberg and young Spielberg are what I took away from this movie. The nuance in his performance is something that is very rare to see these days in the movie. Usually, these days, all the flashy characters or the big characters take away all the spotlight, and you don't see much nuance in many of the actors. But Paul Dano, with his eyes, has acted brilliantly in this movie. Uh, the scenes he has are what I take away most from this movie. He brings all the positivity, he brings all the joy, he brings all the goodness that a person can have. And despite having tough and tragic circumstances around him with his wife and his son also doing something that he personally does not like, yet in the end it all makes sense. At the start, you feel that Paul Dano's character is going to be this villain, rough, tough kind of a father who's not going to let Spielberg fulfill his dreams. But later, we see how he has supported his son throughout his years, and it does take him a while to realize what Spielberg wants to do and what really makes him happy. But there is a very emotional scene in the end that just brings it all together. So Paul Dano's character in this movie is a big plus point for me. Judd Hirsch is also very good in this movie, but he's only there for 10 to 15 minutes, and that scene is absolutely incredible. Yes, the hype is real, that scene is amazing. But even after that scene, I feel that Paul Dano should be nominated instead of Judd Hirsch for the Fablemans, and I think that the Academy has made a little bit of a mistake there. But again, that is my personal opinion. Many people felt that Judd Hirsch's cameo was enough to grant him an Oscar nomination, but I do feel that Paul Dano was snubbed in this category. So apart from Paul Dano being my favorite and that 15-minute Judd Hirsch thing, actually the first half of this movie is absolutely amazing. I really love that the first half of this movie. Where the movie gets away is a little bit in the second half. But let me just finish with a positive. Michelle Williams is absolutely incredible in this movie. She has acted very well, even though it's a very complex role, and some people have criticized her portrayal of the character. But personally, I feel that moms are usually like that. There are instances where they are also they are also flawed human beings. We always associate men being flawed, but sometimes even women can be flawed, and I don't see it as portraying women in a bad way. I just see it as portraying life in a real way. So I think Michelle Williams did an amazing job in this movie. It was Spielberg's personal story, and I thought that it was also a very faithful adaptation. No wonder it got 7 Academy Award nominations. Now I'm not saying that these 7 nominations are not deserved. I'm just saying that the win is not deserved. So the categories that it got nominated for was Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Production Design, and Best Original Score. John Williams, obviously. Every Oscar season we see, he gets nominated. The guy must have had like 50 nominations by now. I know I'm exaggerating, but yeah, that you could throw out any number and it could be true with John Williams. So, like I said, Judd Hirsch big positive, Paul Dano big positive. Direction is pretty good. The acting is first class throughout. There are a few very good emotional moments in the movie, and there is also a very good idea in this movie that conveys that it doesn't pick sides. It doesn't pick that you should go after your dreams, chase your dream of becoming a director in the case of Spielberg, or focus more on your family and strengthening your family. It lets you decide. It gives the pros and cons of either sides, and it actually says that if you go after your dreams, if you do pursue your dreams, you are going to forsake a lot of things. You can't have both. You have to choose either one, or you won't be able to focus on a particular thing completely. And I think that concept is absolutely beautiful. I think that movies like these need to be made where not everything is black and white. There are the gray areas where you have to pick one side or the other, and both have their pros and cons. And this is also reflected in Banshees of Inisherin, if you have seen that movie, which I'm also going to talk about very soon. But yeah, like I said, a lot of positives in this movie. This movie is not at all a bad movie. It's actually a very good movie. But with why this movie is not absolutely amazing and it won't content with the other Oscar nominations is because there are a few bad aspects in the movie. So what went wrong with this movie? As a critique, I didn't like the section where he got introduced to this girl and there was a and that romance developed. I personally didn't buy into it. I think the movie also didn't want me to buy into it, but still it felt weak. Till then, the movie was heading in a particular direction and in a particular flow that I really liked. But when this girl got introduced and when Spielberg started to get basically ragged by other people because of his Jewish heritage and all that, those things were like, okay, this movie was operating at a very high level, and now this movie is operating like it was directed by anyone. It could like it didn't have the Spielberg magic that I associated with the first half. So this portion felt incredibly weak to me. The movie suddenly changed pace, and this portion that happened around two-thirds or three-fourths through the movie didn't work for me. Now I do love the final scene between Spielberg and David Lynch actually acting as John Ford. That scene was absolutely incredible, and the last scene of this movie is incredible. But this mid to end portion part, I didn't really like it. I did like some elements of it, but like when Spielberg basically makes that final video, that scene was very touching. But I didn't like how the romance developed. I didn't buy into it at all, and maybe I shouldn't buy into it. The director wanted me to feel that way, but yet I found that particular section emotionally detached. I found boring, and yeah, that section really didn't work for me. And I think for many people that didn't work. And I do think that that's the reason that this movie couldn't achieve that elite status of some of the other movies. So that was one big critique of Fabelmans. Now another reason that this movie is not getting all the Oscar love is just because of the competition. Like, look at all these movies. I personally feel that these six movies are better than the Fablemans in the Best Picture race. And when six movies are better than you, the chances of you winning the Oscar are pretty slim. I personally think that Top Gun Maverick, Avatar The Way of Water, All Quiet on the Western Front, Tar, Everything Everywhere all at Once, and Banshees of Inisherin are all much better movies than the Fablemans. They have lesser flaws, and I feel that uh, basically Ke Huy Quan literally has taken away all the Oscars from movies like The Fablemans or even Top Gun Maverick. Like, I feel that Everything Everywhere All at Once is an incredible movie, but it wouldn't reach that status if Ke Huy Quan didn't deliver that performance, didn't give that amazing monologue in the end. That movie works because Ke Huy Quan brings all that good and positivity in the movie, much like Paul Dano in The Fablemans. I do feel that The Fablemans had an incredible opportunity to be that movie that could go head to head with Everything Everywhere All at Once, had it had a little bit less flaws and it was executed a bit better. But like I said, it's still a very good movie and you should totally watch it and form your own opinions on it. So do let me know what you think of the Fablemans in the comment section. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think something went wrong? Or did you feel that this was just an year where Everything Everywhere all at once came and swept everyone and the Fablemans just got unlucky? So do like and support this channel.